House Democrats pushing for answers on new reports about Donald Trump's migrant facilities. The person in charge, Kevin McClellan, testifies next week before Congress. He's been denying not only publicly reported facts, but his own agency's description of these conditions. Add to that new reporting from our colleagues at NBC News. A federal investigation has launched after NBC obtained these incident reports from this Arizona facility. A 16-year-old boy complaining about water tasting like chlorine. Agents took the mats out of their cell in retaliation of that boy's cell, and then he had to sleep on concrete, allegedly. Another 15-year-old girl alleging sexual assault by an agent, reporting a, quote, large bearded officer putting his hands inside her bra, pulling down her underwear, and groping her as part of what was supposed to be a routine pat-down. This took place allegedly in front of not only other immigrants in the facility, but also disturbingly in front of other, quote, officers. McClellan will be asked under oath about all of this, and when did he know about it? NBC reports show that DHS has known and been on notice about all kinds of allegations long before these things became public. There will also be questions about photos like this, some from, again, Trump's own agencies. This was a Texas facility where you have people packed in behind the fence. A photo from a different facility, detainees with kids laying on the floor, concrete benches on top of each other. Another where a man is seen holding up this handwritten plea, help, 40-day here. Plus questions about whether the Trump administration ignored clear warnings about dangerous overcrowding. The Root's Jason Johnson is back with me, as mentioned, plus Erika Andiola, Chief Advocacy Officer for Raices, the nonprofit group that provides legal services to immigrants in Texas. Your response, Erika?
Yeah, I mean, to me, again, it's not surprising. We are talking about agents who were posting just terrible, terrible comments on a Facebook group that every American, had the ability to see on the media. These are the same agents who are actually right now taking care of, well, on quotes, of children who are under their custody. To me and to all of us who have worked with children who are here, seeking asylum, seeking a better future, we are really, really disturbed by the fact that there's more and more of these facilities opening up where Border Patrol actually has custody of these children, or, their parents or just adults in general. And we are calling for these facilities to close. CBP shouldn't have people in their custody for more than the time that it takes to process them, which is less than 72 hours. And we are calling for those facilities to close and for CBP agents to not at all have custody of children ever.
Jason, take a listen to the Democrats who've been dialing up the pressure on this, including looking at the hearings and public events and basically saying this is the defining issue right now, domestic policy-wise, with Donald Trump. Take a look.
The conditions at the border have shocked the conscience of the country.
The system is broken, that human rights are being abused and neglected.
We don't need new laws. We need morality.
There must be greater accountability.
We need an administration that understands there are human rights violations happening.
This is simply wrong, and it is simply unacceptable.
Of course, a lot of the funding stuff has been worked out in the Congress, so this is really a fight over trying to galvanize the American people to care about this at a time when there is a kind of a debate over the second-class treatment of other individuals. I always mention on this program, people have human rights, right, even when they are convicted of crimes. Yes. These people, including these children, have human rights and are not even in that level of accusation.
So this is a larger issue. This goes back to 2017 when Jeff Sessions allowed ICE to get rid of some of the own complaints and reports after 6 or 7 weeks. Then this goes to the Border Patrol. Then this goes to these sort of camps where people are being held. Then it goes to the fact that now you have people who have crossed the border being moved into old military bases where the press would not be allowed to go and investigate them. This is a whole, it's not just human rights abuse. This is an intentional method by this administration to harass and abuse people, not just to keep people from coming into the country, but to intimidate and concern those individuals who are living in the United States. All of this is part of this overall sort of white nationalist rhetoric that's manifesting itself in policy. And that's what I think people need most concerned about. Look, domestically, it's not necessarily a winning issue. There's plenty of Republicans who say we don't care. But the Democrats need to be able to galvanize their voters behind this and make this a key issue in 2020.
Yeah, Erika, and I wonder about that because we've discussed this with some of our other guests here. What Jason says about the politics of it, of course, is policy is shaped by politics. The Democratic Party, at least as measured by the people on those debate stages, has moved, whatever you want to call it, more left, more humanitarian on these issues. Do you think Trump's radicalization has actually opened up more space for change within the party?
You know, I think there's a long-term strategy here, which is obviously to come out, and make sure that the 2020 candidates are talking about this issue in the right way, and that they are bringing a more, human approach, I would say, to the issue. But there's also the short-term strategy, which is how do we actually stop this from happening? And unfortunately, I would say that Democrats have not necessarily done everything that they can to stop this. And a big example, what just happened in the House, where they gave basically a blank check to Border Patrol to basically do whatever they need to do without any oversight with people who are in their custody. And so we need to make sure that, yes, we are looking into the long-term strategy, but what are we doing to pressure also Democrats to use the power they do have in the House to ensure that right now, at this moment, we're taking care of the children and the individuals who are right now in the hands of Border Patrol and ICE.
Erika Andiola and Jason Johnson, thanks to both of you. We have a lot when we come back in 30 seconds. The Mitch McConnell challenger. But first, new revelations on Team